What is up, ladies and gentlemen? In this video I'm going to be talking a little bit on something that I feel was a bit of a missed opportunity with Season 3. And the subject in hand is Robbie's time in Juvie. Now, this in no way, shape or form reflects any other opinions. This is just something I'm just throwing out there as my 2 cents. But I loved Robbie's scenes in Juvie. I feel that they added so many layers to his character. I felt like we were peeling back another layer in the Keen saga. And I just feel like there was a few little things here or there that could have really stepped it up even more. Now, I do think you guys said in the comments that Tanner was filming something else, alongside the show. And obviously they had to try and work him in with where his character was and all that. So I think Robbie was used very, very eloquently throughout Season 3. But I feel like just a couple of scenes here or there would have made all the difference. And the scenes that I think would have really elevated Robbie's time, I'm going to set the scene for you. This is... So imagine the beatdown has just happened, the first beatdown, where Sean and his crew go to town on Robbie and they all just basically take turns, laying the smackdown on his ass. You cut to the nighttime, where Robbie's just sat on the bunk. He's sat on the bed, literally just on the bed, everyone's asleep, and he's just by himself thinking. He's reflecting. He's reflecting on the school fight, he's reflecting on the fallout, he's reflecting on everything that's led him to this point, and he's reflecting on the car conversation between him and Johnny, the conversation that could have changed everything. He's reflecting on the last thing Daniel said to him before the school fight, and then he's reflecting on Daniel selling him out to the police, stuff like that. While he's isolated, I feel would have definitely shown, it would have definitely got more people over with his character. I feel like, Robbie's in that kind of situation where I think people are starting to really see where Robbie's character arc is going, and they're starting to appreciate the nuances and the little details that are created within his story. You're welcome, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to take full credit for that one. And I also appreciate the comments that say this is a great Robbie space. So this is a place for mature discussion, no mudslinging. If you don't like the character Robbie, hey, that's cool. If you like the character Robbie, hey, that's cool too. I'm talking objectively here. Personal, subjectivity aside, Robbie is one of my, he is one of my favorite characters. But just speaking at it objectively from just his character, I feel like these kind of small scenes, and as I've said, Robbie's the character in this show where the small scenes really say the most. I think the only character that can really rival him for small scenes is Hawk. And the reason I say that with small scenes is, picture the scene when Hawk breaks Dimitri's arm. Right, he breaks Dimitri's arm and the look of regret on his face afterwards. That's what I'm talking about. Those kind of scenes right there. I feel like a scene where is a good example is after the beatdown, they say, Keen, you've got a visitor coming tomorrow. The look on his face when he hears that it's his dad. Does that look like a guy who's completely given up on his father? No, that looks like a kid who's hopeful that finally his father is coming for him. Finally. And much to his disappointment and dismay, that doesn't happen. As I've covered a multitude of times. But I do feel like with Robbie's arc in Season 3, there was room for maybe more. With just where we put his scenes across the show. I think after he went to town on Sean and his crew, I think after that point, I think we kind of lost Robbie for a couple of episodes, and then we just caught up with him when he was released. And I think the good thing about him being in Season 3 less, in a way, is it's a meta way of saying, hey, everyone's forgetting about him, and then Robbie's released. You're like, oh yeah, Robbie, I completely forgot about him. So in a way it works. But I do feel like these kind of scenes that I'm talking about would have really elevated the material a little bit. And would have really, I think, had people, showing a bit of sympathy for Robbie for things that he's done. Because a big problem that a lot of people have with his character is he doesn't take responsibility. Now, obviously, if we're looking at it at face value, yes, that is sometimes the case. There is a good 50-50 split. There's a good argument to be made where Robbie doesn't take responsibility all the time. He likes to run from his problems instead of facing them head on. But there's reasons for that. It's not just because Miguel and Sam LaRusso came to town. It's something that's been stewing inside him for 17 years now. This has been a long time coming and a long time building, and Kreese took full advantage of him being in the vulnerable position he was in and now we're going to get the evil Robbie for most of Season 4, probably leading straight into Season 5. But I do feel like there are moments while Robbie's in Juvie, just the quiet moments, where he doesn't say anything. It's just the face expressions, you know, magnificently done by Tanner, and great work by the you know, the camera crew and the creators and the directors and all that. But I feel like it's just the little scenes where he doesn't say anything that say the most in regards to Robbie's character. When Tory's talking to Robbie when they're in the Juvie section, and, you know, she's like, just check off stable or whatever. Just the look on his face, just the simple stuff like that, where Robbie doesn't say anything, but you see it written all over him. Stuff like that. And I feel like in Season 3, especially while he was in Juvie, there was opportunity there to do a little bit more, to really sort of explore how brutal this time in Juvie was. Because all we have to go on is that Sean and his crew, you know, pretty much harassed him, and then eventually Robbie struck first and, you know, earned their respect. But there was a bit of a time skip, there was a bit of a time jump, and it begs to question, why didn't, you know, Robbie respond to any of the other emails that anyone sent him? Did he get into another fight afterwards? And that just, you know, a new Miyagi-Do Robbie went in there, and Cobra Kai Robbie came out. You know, it was sort of the changing of the Robbie, in a sense. And it's not that Miyagi-Do him is gone, it's just that he is embracing this legacy that was bestowed upon his father, that was taught by Kreese, and is now being bestowed upon him. He's just kind of relishing in what should have been his to begin with, if you think about it. But I feel like these kind of small scenes, just these little changes here or there, would have really elevated Robbie's character this season. And I feel like we're going to get a lot of that in Season 4. I think Robbie is going to be one of the focus points of the next season. We're going to see a lot of what he has to offer. And, you know, with Silver coming to town, I have no doubt in my mind that Silver and Kreese are going to see Robbie as the absolute gem. They're going to utilize him to his fullest potential. As I said, it wouldn't surprise me if they get Mike Barnes back in to be his personal trainer or something. You know, a bit goofy, but honestly, I wouldn't put it past them. They want Robbie to be their prized possession. Robbie is their key to winning the All Valley. He is their key. The amount of anger and rage that exists within this guy, they can utilize. And as I've said 1,000 times before, his arc is Daniel's arc from Karate Kid 3, just extended. But it's just, I feel like this was something that could have really been extended on. We could have really seen more, because I really did enjoy the Juvie scenes. I felt like it was a nice change of pace from what we were used to. I feel like Season 3 definitely took us in a few new bold directions. And I've got a video coming soon on why Season 3 needed to take the decisions that it took, and I'll explain why they needed to be taken. But guys and girls, leave your comments down below. Let me know what you thought of Robbie's time in Juvie. Do you think it should have been stretched out more? Do you think we got what we needed? Do you think we got just enough? Do you think we got the right amount? Do you think we should have got just a little bit more in there? I'm interested to hear what you guys have to say. For me personally, at least, I feel like we got what we needed, but I feel like just, you know, a few more scenes here or there would have really sort of elevated it, and I think people would have definitely sympathized with Robbie more had we seen more of his struggle with everything. Because when you look at Robbie through Season 3, we only really see him when he's engaging with other characters. We don't really see much of him by himself. He's usually engaging with other characters and they're talking to him about past events or his decisions or his actions. But I feel like scenes like this where he's just by himself, i.e. he's sat on the bed, it's nighttime, all the other Juvie, you know, crew, everyone's asleep. He's awake and he's sat there thinking to himself, having a moment, just reflecting on everything. I think would have been so powerful, and I can't wait going into Season 4 to see what they do with Robbie. I feel like Robbie is going to be just one of the ones to watch next season. Robbie and Hawk, those two, I'm keeping a keen eye on those two. No pun intended, because his surname's Keen. And I have seen people asking me this, do I think Robbie will take the Lawrence name by the end of the show? I think that's a safe bet. I don't think they're going to make that a priority, but I think that is a likely ending for Robbie's character. Now, the only problem is you don't want it ending up like a Rey Skywalker scenario, where Robbie just turns around and says, I'm Robbie Lawrence. But, you know, you got to go through legal issues and all that stuff. But depending on where the show goes and if Johnny and Robbie reconcile, I could see something forming between them where Robbie's like, you know what, I'm going to take your surname. I'm going to be your son. Something like that. But that's not That's not until way down the line. I'm talking season 6. It's way too soon right now for that. But guys and girls, jump in the comments section, and I will see you all in another video soon. Remember, the way of the fist.